Greetings, YouTube viewer. This is Mike Daly, and today's video is about working through your emotions. And I mean, this is something everybody deals with. We all have times, things happen, disappointments, heartbreak, that just, cause us to become angry, become depressed, despondent. And now, and it's important that we learn to acknowledge our emotions and work through them so we can get past them, and live healthy lives and move forward and not get, what we don't want to do is get stuck in negative emotions that hold us back, that keep us in bondage. So now I want to address, there's a teaching that's out there. There's a book I read it was back when I was in college, and like a Christian religious type book. And basically the teaching was along the lines of this, is that, according to Romans 8, everything that happens, even like seemingly bad things, happens, for our good. So regardless of what happens, you should rejoice. You should thank God for it. You should be happy. And now I think there is a point to that. I think, you certainly don't want to be like, have just this negative attitude all the time, but at the same time though, I think sometimes there's a process that you need to go through. If something bad happens, it depends. Sometimes, it talks about, like in the book of Acts, when the apostles were like really persecuted and thrown in jail, that they were actually happy, that they rejoiced that they were counted worthy to suffer for the name of Jesus. But there's other times where maybe the rejoicing wasn't quite so immediate. And so to give an example of this, I am going to read Psalm 88. And I think this will really illustrate kind of what the process is kind of like for when you're like going through something. Take a deep breath, God. Calm down. Don't be so hasty with your punishing rod. Your sharp-pointed arrows of rebuke draw blood. My backside smarts from your caning. I've lost 20 pounds in 2 months because of your accusation. My bones are brittle as dry sticks because of my sin. I'm swamped by my bad behavior, collapsed under gunny sacks of guilt. The cuts in my flesh stink and grow maggots because I've lived so badly. And now I'm flat on my face, feeling sorry for myself morning to night. All my insides are on fire. My body is a wreck. I'm on my last legs. I've had it. My life is a vomit of groans. So this guy's definitely keeping it real, man. Okay. Lord, my longings are sitting in plain sight. My groans an old story to you. My heart's about to break. I'm a burned out case. Cataracts blind me to God and good. Old friends avoid me like the plague. Which I think that's something, when you're going through something, you really find out who your real friends are. You find some people are kind of pulling away from you. It's like, whoa, I don't know what's going on with that guy, but I don't want any of that shit, so, where was I? My cousins never visit. My neighbors stab me in the back. My competitors blacken my name. Devoutly they pray for my ruin. But I'm deaf and mute to it all, ears shut, mouth shut. I don't hear a word they say, don't speak a word in response. What I do, God, is wait for you. Wait for my Lord, my God, you will answer. I wait and pray so they won't laugh me off, won't smugly strut off when I stumble. So here we can see this is kind of where it's starting to turn. This guy, he's basically let everything out. He's just, let God know exactly how he feels in pretty poetic language. Hadn't had anything back. But now he's starting to, turn to the fact, okay, that he knows he knows he can trust that God cares about him, that God loves him, and that he will ultimately answer his prayer, and that he can have faith in that. Let's see. I'm on the edge of losing it. The pain in my gut keeps burning. I'm ready to tell my story of failure. I'm no longer smug in my sin. My enemies are alive and in action, a lynch mob after my neck. I give out good and get back evil from God haters who can't stand a love giver. Don't dump me, God. My God, don't stand me up. Hurry and help me. I want some wide open space in my life. So, and now a lot of Psalms kind of have this theme of, things being really bad, but Lord, I trust in you to turn things around. Now, this one in particular, I mean, there's a lot more negative stuff in there than the positive. One psalm in particular, Psalm 88, it's all negative. I mean, there's no point in that psalm where God turns it around or anything. I mean, basically ends with the guy saying, yeah, my closest friend, my best friend is dark. Well, I guess like darkness, my old friend, that song. So this idea that we should just rejoice and be happy for everything that happens to us, well, it's not in the Psalms. That's for sure. So, yeah, what is in the Psalms and other places in the Bible is where I guess the process of kind of going through it and, working through these emotions. And now myself, I would say that emotionally, I'm the type of person that feels things pretty dang deeply. And so much so, I mean, I'll admit that I'm on an antidepressant. I've been on it for several years. Don't really like being on it, but I think right now it's probably better than I am. Because I have tried to come off it a number of times in the past, and inevitably, I would end up, falling back into some kind of bad depressive episode, and, some kind of charismatic type people might say, oh, well, Mike, it sounds like you've got a spirit of depression that you need deliverance from. I've been through that. I've had people pray to cast off the spirit of depression, and I try to cast it on myself, and I mean, all kinds of shit, but I don't know, man. God deals with different people different ways. I mean, because, I'd hear testimonies of people who'd be on antidepressants, and then, God delivers them. They throw their antidepressants in the toilet and don't need them again. Well, I want to be like that. No, that didn't work out, did it? No. So, I'll say for me, the past few years, I think I think the Spirit of the Lord has been helping me. One thing I'll say for me when I'm going through something is that, it's like I get to a point where I can even start to see the humor in it. Like, I remember one time, this is back in 2015, and I was in this homeless program. I was staying at this place was located in West Atlanta, not a very good area. I'm in this apartment with these three other guys and really want to get the hell out of there. and I don't know, for 3 months, I'm trying to find work, and it's just I have never had such a hard time finding work before. And it's I didn't have I guess it's the first time in my life I didn't have a car. So that did make it a bit harder, but, still. So I finally find a job with this place where I can be a banquet server, but there's a few requirements, and one of them is okay, I need to have certain clothes that I can wear for I need to have this I don't know, tuxedo type shirt, bow tie, black pants, and so, but which I couldn't afford at the time, but I was able to get some through this other program, but the other program was way on the other side of town. I had to go to this Decatur Recovery Associates. I'm on the west side of town, so I had to get on MARTA, and So I got over there, I got all the stuff, and I think I got on the bus to go back, and I realized after about, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, oh, shit, I'm on the wrong damn bus. I'm going the wrong way. So I ring the thing, I get off the bus, and then I'm just, oh my god, this sucks. Like, I'm just, why is this so hard? Like, oh, then finally I just start laughing. It's like, I don't know, it's just kind of funny, like this guy, this bag of clothes, waiting for the friggin' bus. I don't know. So I don't know, for me, I think finding the humor, I think like and being able to laugh at the situation helps a lot. So, I mean, and I guess one thing like in the Psalms is like they'll like cry out to God for help. And now this is maybe this might offend some religious people, but sometimes I'll just go off on God, and I might even mock him a little bit. I'll just be like, geez, God, wow. I guess this situation is just too much for you, right? I mean, you're as powerful as you're supposed to be. It's that you just can't get me out of this one, And I don't think the Lord really minds. I mean, I think he can take it. I think he can take us, like going off on him a little. I mean, I think he's the one person that can really take it, that we don't need to worry about getting, oh, how dare you say that about, So, he can take it. I mean, he's not gonna like get all offended and shit. So, yeah. So I'd say those are the stuff. I mean, you got to acknowledge your emotions, man. I mean, you can't you may, if you're at work and stuff, and you're feeling, obviously you can't just let everything hang out there, but at some point you just got to acknowledge it, or to God. Maybe talk to a friend, just at some point you just kind of got to, just get it out. Get it out of your system. I know a church I used to go to, pastor would say, like I said I was going to give myself 1 hour, which he's basically saying, okay, I know I got to process this, so I'm going to give myself 1 hour to kind of get this stuff out, but then, I'm not going to stay there. I'm not just going to, because you can get stuck. I guess you can get in a mindset where, just this kind of defeatist mindset where, this is just how it is. It's always going to suck. Oh, woe is me. And that's not where you want to be. And the good thing if you're a Christian is that, you do have that promise in Romans 8 that God will work everything for your good. Even things that just seem really, really bad. And it's not as though God necessarily wanted those things to happen to you. I think things where people die or get sick or, that's what the devil does. That's his job, to destroy people and to kill people and stuff. So, but we know, that ultimately, even through like setbacks and great loss, that we can become better people, for having gone through that. So, just keeping that in mind. So, yeah, that's just, I guess my biggest thing is just keep it real, between you and God. You may gotta cuss God out. You may just, reading these Psalms, I think, one thing like in ancient times that they had, so like at funerals and stuff, they would actually have professional mourners which would basically be people. I mean, they would come to the funeral, and they would just like wail, like, oh, and it's like, well, why on earth? And I guess the point of that is so, because I think they had an understanding that there's a grieving process you got to go through, and the sooner you can go through it and get through it, the better. So. Because I think maybe in modern society we don't really have as good an understanding of that, and so we end up just carrying a lot of stuff inside because we really haven't dealt with it. So that's just my encouragement to you. I mean, if there's something where you've been hurt or disappointed, I mean, just go through that process. And I mean, some people. Some people you may need to push away for a bit if they don't really seem to understand. I mean, like if they think they may not appreciate the depth of your pain. So because I mean we're all at different places in life. Some of us have been through quite a lot. Some of us not so much. So if you haven't really been through so much yourself, it's a lot harder to relate to somebody who's like in the midst of it and just really going through it. So, I'd say you want to, let people you care about going through. Don't necessarily let everybody, I mean, some people you may want to be a little more guarded with what you share. So, and I mean, one thing, I don't know, just I've noticed like on social media, like Facebook, I mean, there are some people that will really share quite a lot of personal stuff. And my first reaction is like, man, they probably shouldn't be doing that. I mean, you got like 3,000 Facebook friends. I mean, you can't really know all these people very well, and you're putting all this personal stuff, but it is kind of surprising on social media just how supportive people can be. I mean, it's kind of sad. It's like, I think almost, it can be almost like strangers. I mean, people you really don't know that well on social media can sometimes be more supportive than like your own family or friends or neighbors. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's interesting. So, I guess, you're a Christian here from the Lord. I mean, who you need to talk to. It may not be who you would think. It may not, I mean, you may think, you need to like talk to your pastor or something, and maybe, well, no, not your pastor. Maybe you need to talk to, I don't know, this dude on Facebook or something. So, anyway, I hope that's helpful for somebody. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to comment, and I'd ask you again to please subscribe to my channel and to click the bell so that you will be informed when I release future videos.